How to eat crow to supersize your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and our idiom today is eat crow. This, of course, is not a crow, but I don't have any crows in my house. I used to have crows outside my house. They were always flying around. I don't know why. We lived out in the country, and there were always crows in the front part of our yard flying around. Caw, 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 especially in the fall. So this time of year, there'd be a ton of them. I live in town now, and there are like, I don't think I've seen a crow since I moved in town. Not a single one. So it must be a country thing. Probably is a country thing because there were lots of cornfields and things out across the highway from us. Not the highway, across the road from us. It was a county road. And so there are always crows out there. And I never thought about eating a crow. Not once. Never, ever, ever. I've heard the idiom, and I don't think I've ever used this idiom or this expression. It means, of course, to be humiliated or to be forced to do something really disagreeable or that you really don't want to do. To admit that you're wrong or that you're disgraced or that you've lost something and you have to make up for it. It's actually an expression from the War of 1812 where an American officer was forced to eat a crow, a dead crow. They say a dead crow, and I'm like, what do you mean a dead crow? Like, who's going to eat a live crow? So he was forced to eat a dead crow, and supposedly people who have actually eaten a dead crow, I'm not among them, say that it's disgusting, terrible, and just awful tasting. So it's humiliating to have to eat something awful. Have you ever been in a place or in a group of people where they're serving something that is disgusting or you really don't like to eat, but you eat it anyway because you want to not give a bad impression, or you just want to make people feel good about what they brought? I'm sure I've tasted and done things like that, but never in a way that made me feel humiliated or that I had to do it or was forced to do it. There's a difference between choosing to eat something and being forced to eat something. So how do you use this idiom? Knowing that it means to do something disagreeable for your business to help you grow and supersize your business. Number one, if you own a business, guess what? There's things we love to do about our business, and there's things that we need to do or have done in our business that we don't necessarily love to do. I, for example, do not love to do accounting or that kind of stuff. I love to do the big picture stuff, the vision stuff, but the detailed, nitty-gritty stuff, not my thing. Guess what? It still has to get done. And in the days before I thought I could afford to have somebody do it for me, I had to figure out how to do those things myself. Nobody likes to clean the toilets. Nobody likes to do certain tasks, especially in a food business, of cleanup, but they all have to get done. And so sometimes you have to jump in and do what you got to do to make sure that the job, especially when you own a business, gets done and gets taken care of. Oftentimes, and so I think, and that's not eating crow, that's doing, I think that's taking responsibility for what's in our purview, what's in our area of responsibility, and that's different than eating crow. If I'm doing something distasteful because it's the right thing to do, that doesn't feel like eating crow to me. Now, I have been in situations where I have felt like I had to eat crow. The whole Me Too movement, the recent past, is an example of one party wanting to have power over another party and humiliating that party. I've been involved in some of that because in corporate America, it's pretty impossible for people of both genders in a work environment to not have experienced that. But I also had a boss that it was a female boss that made me feel humiliated and bad. And she did everything in her power to try to diminish me and make me feel bad. But, you know, worked through that, got over it, and actually like her now. We ended up working as she was a vendor of one of the companies I worked for later on in my career, and she was a completely changed person, which was really, it was really nice to see that people do grow and do change. It gives us hope, it gives us all hope. I also was married to a very controlling husband, and in those situations, I did feel like I had to eat crow a lot, and I had to be somebody that I'm not. And whenever we're forcing somebody to be who they're not, and we're not appreciating them for what they really bring to our organizations and to our lives, then we might not be overtly telling them to eat crow, but we're in effect with our behaviors and our attitudes and our judgments telling them to, you know, eat crow or be different than who they are. And in our organizations, we have the opportunity to support and embrace all people and really encourage their personal development and growth and to be who they are. Because guess what? When people are allowed to be who they really want to be and who they really are and bring the best of them to our organizations, to our businesses, guess what? Our businesses flourish because we're building on everybody's strengths instead of on their weaknesses. So I actually think this is, I like to take all these idioms and twist them into a positive way of looking at them and how they can benefit my business and hopefully your business as well. And so this is another one of those. It's like eat humble pie. We talked about that, like 269 days ago. So maybe I'm covering too many of these idioms, but we talked about that, and we see the similarities in that. If we're ever behaving in ways that we don't think we should be, then we sometimes need to eat that humble pie. Sometimes we need to eat crow, own up to our mistakes, and say, hey, I screwed up. I'm human. I am really sorry. And then fix it, make it right with not only our customers, always with our customers, but always with the people that are working with us, our partners, our vendors, our business associates, our peers, our teammates, the people that are helping us to create the businesses that we're here to create. So that's my 2 cents worth on eating crow. Love to know your experience with eating crow. I have eaten a lot of chickens, but I haven't eaten very many crows. I've even eaten a lot of ducks in my day. My ex-husband was a big hunter, bird hunter, and so of course were my kids. So we always had a freezer full of fowl. And in the beginning, I didn't know how to prepare fowl, and some of it was terrible, probably much like eating crow. But once I discovered and practiced and figured out how to cook it, it was absolutely delicious and one of our favorite things to eat. So it just goes to show you that even if you don't know, you can always learn and improve and get better. That's what we're here for. We're here to experience our lives as only we uniquely can, and we do that through our businesses and the people that we can give value to and serve. That's it. Have an awesome day. I'll be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it to grow and create the impact in the business that you want to? Take care.